John, good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Commiserations.
Well, thank you very much.
You sound quite chirpy still. I mean, it's not the end of the world, but it's still a bit of a blow?
A bit of a blow, but at the end of the day, they're trying to downsize the department that I was working in, which is the Department for Culture, Olympics and Media. And they've got to downsize it at the end of the Olympics. It's a sensible use of taxpayers' money. There's one fewer ministerial places, and it would be a bit silly to get rid of the Olympics minister, who's just done such a brilliant job at running the Olympics. So my post, in the words of the HR department, was made redundant. So, yeah, sad but understandable, I guess.
So did you almost have one shoe out of the building then, knowing that it might well be the call that you got from Cameron?
It was, you always hope in such situations, but it was kind of understandable and expected. So sad, but the end of the world, as you say, and it does actually mean I can get on with sticking up for the people of Weston, which of course is always good fun and which I look forward to doing.
Which we'll come to, but come on, everyone wants to know what these phone calls are like. Was it brief? Was it a phone call? Was it a text with the PM?
No, none of that. I'm invited in personally. I mean, he if he's going to give you bad news, credit to him, he does it face to face, and actually it was as a good a conversation as those kind of conversations can be. He was actually very, very kind about what I'd achieved in 2.5 years and about what we managed to do collectively for the tourism industry. He said, look, you've done a great job, we just haven't got enough places in DCMS in the post-Olympics world, I'm afraid. So he was very, very kind about it, but there just isn't the role.
And that's got to be of consolation, I suppose, that no other individual is stepping into your shoes, because, I mean, we've seen real heartbreak, haven't we, the last couple of days? I know it's just politics, again, not the end of the world, but still, people have been really sort of really taken aback by some of the changes.
I think that for other people, it's been a great deal harder, and I think I probably got the easiest of the possible hand cards I might have been dealt. So yeah, there are plenty of other people out there who deserve a great deal more sympathy than I do on this one, and time to move on.
I don't know if MPs have CVs as such, but I mean, what will you take from this role then as Tourism Minister as your greatest achievement, John?
Oh, crumbs. Couple of different things. We've finally managed, after I think it's something like 30 years of trying, to get the visitors centre at Stonehenge is being rebuilt as you and I speak, and that is something which is long overdue and really needs to be done. That's a major global tourist attraction for Britain. And the other thing is, in another bit of the portfolio, to do with the racing industry, we managed to finally get the government out of owning a bookies. The government used to own the tote, which was a bit weird, and we finally managed to divest that and make sure that the taxpayer gets some money back, and actually racing gets some money back from it too.
So all these things in the portfolio, like Royal Parks and Royal Household, National Lottery licensing, as you mentioned, gambling, horse racing, they're just spread, are they, to other staff that are still there?
Yes, absolutely. I mean,
they don't just forget about all these things.
No, the most important thing is that the really big important bits like tourism and heritage will be picked up by one of the other two remaining ministers. So they will have more time because the Olympics are coming to an end. They will be given bits and pieces of what I was doing. So someone will be continuing to push forward on the tourism agenda, which I set out in the tourism policy, and they will continue to deliver that.
John, a double-edged sword, you mentioned more time for Westonians, but I mean, they always liked and you always championed their tourism cause, didn't you? So I suppose it's a bit of a blow in that sense that you're not there at the top table?
A little bit, I guess. I mean, it's one of those things that if you're a minister, you're spread a bit wider and a bit more shallowly. If you're a constituency MP, pure and simple, then you're sort of narrow a bit deeper. So I guess it's sort of 6 and 2 feet.
And personally, I don't want to be vulgar, but financially and time-wise, it changes things for you, does it?
It's a pay cut, that's for sure.
Which is never nice, is it?
It's never nice. But lots of other people have had to take pay cuts too. So around the rest of the country. So one of those things where you sort of look at your bank statement and work out what you're going to do.
Yeah, and more time with the family, or not necessarily because you'll just work harder as an MP?
Well, I'm lucky enough to have 2 young daughters and a very understanding wife, so I'm spending plenty of time with them anyway, so I will be able to carry on doing that, yes.
OK, John, and finally your thoughts on the actual reshuffle. People still talking about it 24 hours later, which I suppose is quite rare, really. David Cameron says it shows that there is intent there to really get on with things. What are you most happy with of the whole caboodle?
What I like is that there's some very good fresh blood coming in, as well as some existing experienced people. So, for example, the person who's taken over at DCMS, who's going to be the new Secretary of State, a lady called Maria Miller, she's absolutely super, really, really able, very, very capable. So you've got some really good, high-caliber people moving through, and that's excellent news. I think you want as many good people as you possibly can in the ministerial ranks.
Any missed opportunities, apart from keeping you on, of course?
Of course, apart from that. Look, the advantage, I think, which we've got now in the Conservative Party is that, particularly because we've got a lot of new people who were elected in 2010 at the last general election, is actually we've got a huge reservoir of talent. So yeah, there's a lot of people who aren't in ministerial roles who are good enough to be so, and I'm sure David Cameron will want to give them a chance. I hope he might even give me another chance at some point in future. So there's a lot of depth of talent there, and actually that's got to be good, because otherwise every government starts to run out of steam, and if you've got a deep pool of talent, then that is less likely.
MP for Western Supermare John Penrose.